Strange laws that still exist in different parts of the world. Hello, and thank you for stopping by our channel, Weird World Facts, where we bring you the most interesting, weird, and awe-inspiring information from around the world. In this video, we will talk about strange laws that still exist in different parts of the world that you didn't know before. Laws that might make you question the sanity of the lawmakers, or even wonder how such laws were passed in the first place. Well, get ready to be surprised, because in this video, we'll explore some of the weirdest and most outdated laws that are still on the books in various countries around the world. Let's get started. Strange laws in United States. Did you know that the United States has some of the weirdest laws in the world? Each state has its own set of rules, and some of them are downright bizarre. Let's start with Alabama. If you ever plan on attending a church service there, make sure you leave your fake mustache at home. That's right, it's actually illegal to wear a fake mustache in a church if it causes laughter. Can you imagine being arrested for cracking a joke during a religious service? That's one law you definitely don't want to break. But that's not all, folks. In Arizona, there's a law that prohibits donkeys from sleeping in bathtubs. Yes, you heard that right. It's unclear why anyone would want to put a donkey in a bathtub in the first place, but apparently, it was enough of a problem to warrant its own law. So if you're a donkey owner in Arizona, be sure to keep your furry friend out of the tub. In California, where it's against the law to drive a vehicle without a driver. That might sound like common sense, but there's a catch. If your car is capable of driving itself, it cannot exceed 60 miles per hour. So if you're driving a self-driving car in California, you better not be in a hurry to get anywhere. Strange laws in Europe. Europe, a continent filled with culture, history, and quirky laws. And speaking of peculiar laws, did you know that in France, it is illegal to name a pig Napoleon? That's right, you heard it correctly. This may sound like a joke, but it is, in fact, a legitimate law. The origins of this law date back to the time of the infamous Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who brought much of Europe to its knees in the early 19th century. It was during his reign that this peculiar law was established. You see, Napoleon was a man who was not only powerful, but also very sensitive about his image. He wanted to ensure that he was held in the highest regard, and that nothing would be done to tarnish his legacy. So in an effort to prevent any disrespect towards the emperor, it was deemed illegal to name a pig after him. Now you might be thinking, why a pig? Well, back in those days, pigs were considered to be dirty and unclean animals. Naming one of them after Napoleon was seen as a sign of disrespect and mockery towards the emperor. But France is not the only country with bizarre laws. Moving on to the United Kingdom, it is illegal to handle a salmon in suspicious circumstances. What constitutes as suspicious circumstances, you may ask? Well, nobody knows for sure. The law is vague and ambiguous, which makes it all the more intriguing. Strange laws in Singapore. Well, let me share with you another fascinating fact that will leave you awestruck. Did you know that in Singapore, chewing gum is illegal? Yes, you've heard it right. You can't just pop a piece of gum in your mouth while walking down the street, unless it's for medicinal purposes. You may be wondering why the Singaporean government would ban such a harmless activity. The reason behind this law is due to the country's cleanliness campaign, which aims to keep the streets and public areas pristine. Chewing gum, if not disposed of properly, can be a nuisance to the environment and is difficult to clean up. Hence, the government decided to ban the sale and import of chewing gum in 1992. Strange laws in Iran. In Iran, importing a Barbie doll is illegal. Yes, you read that right. Barbie is not welcome in Iran. The Iranian government views the iconic doll as a symbol of Western culture that promotes materialism and decadence. Therefore, importing the toy is strictly prohibited, and anyone caught importing it may face severe penalties. Strange laws in Australia. Australia is known for its unique wildlife, beautiful landscapes, and laid-back lifestyle. But did you know that it's also home to some of the world's weirdest laws? First up, we have Victoria, where changing a light bulb is no laughing matter. In this state, it is illegal to change a light bulb unless you are a licensed electrician. Yes, you heard that right. So if you're a regular Joe or Jane who wants to swap out a burnt-out bulb, you better think twice before grabbing a ladder and reaching for the ceiling. Moving on to Queensland, where you might be surprised to learn that owning a cute and fluffy pet rabbit could land you in hot water. That's because it's against the law to possess a rabbit unless you can prove that you're a magician. We're not kidding. So if you're not a skilled illusionist or don't have a magic wand up your sleeve, you might have to settle for a cat or a dog instead. Strange laws in Africa. In Nigeria, did you know that it is against the law to make phone calls while in motion? This law was introduced to prevent accidents caused by distracted driving, and it applies to both drivers and passengers. Now let's head over to South Africa. Here we have another interesting law that you might not know about. It is illegal to display a sign in a public place that might offend people's dignity. This law has been used to ban a wide range of signs, from political slogans to advertisements for lingerie. Strange laws in Japan. Imagine you're in Tokyo, enjoying a night out with friends. You're dancing the night away at a club, feeling the rhythm of the music, when suddenly the clock strikes midnight. All of a sudden, the music stops, the lights turn on, and a group of stern-looking officials march onto the dance floor, ordering everyone to stop dancing. What just happened? Well, you've just become a victim of one of Japan's most bizarre laws. The law that prohibits dancing after midnight without a special permit. The law was introduced in the 1940s, during a time when Japan was struggling with the issue of prostitution. The government believed that dancing after midnight was closely associated with prostitution and other immoral activities, and therefore decided to put a stop to it. Strange laws in India. Varanasi is one of the holiest cities in India, attracting millions of pilgrims every year seeking spiritual enlightenment. But did you know that it's against the law to die in Varanasi? Yes, you heard that right. In this sacred city, it's illegal to breathe your last breath, and if you do, you could be in trouble with the law. But why would anyone pass such a law, you may ask? Well, it's all about the quest for eternal liberation, or moksha, in Hinduism. According to Hindu beliefs, dying in Varanasi, specifically on the banks of the Ganges, is considered a gateway to moksha, where the soul is freed from the cycle of birth and death. Strange laws in Brazil. Brazil has a law that prohibits drivers from honking their horns after 10 p.m. So in an effort to curb this trend and create a more tranquil atmosphere, the Brazilian government decided to enforce a ban on horn honking after hours. Of course, there are exceptions for emergencies, but otherwise, drivers are encouraged to find other ways to communicate on the road. Strange laws in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, where women are not allowed to drive. This law has been a source of controversy and debate for decades. Women in Saudi Arabia were granted the right to drive in 2018, but it was a long and arduous battle to achieve this basic right. The driving ban was rooted in the conservative interpretation of Islamic law and societal norms that believed women should be confined to their homes. These are just a few examples of the strange laws that exist around the world. While many of these laws might seem ridiculous or outdated, they are still enforceable, and violators can face fines, imprisonment, or even death. It is important to be aware of the laws of the countries you visit to avoid unwittingly breaking the law. So what do you think of these strange laws? Do you know of any other bizarre laws that we haven't covered? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.